Hey there, we're back again. Like always, third time's the charm. Hopefully we improve the quality a little bit. It is Podocastu Chapter 3, Learning Art. And I am with Wally.
Hi.
Yeah, so why don't you start the conversation after recently always being the driving force in the conversation? So how about change of pace for today?
Okay. Yeah, today's topic will be learning art, and we'll be discussing how we learned to draw and our progress and what we are doing now, maybe.
Yeah.
And how our interest changed, of course.
Yeah. So both of us agree on that the progress on learning and drawing never really changes. So even as we speak about it right now, we're trying to improve in what we do. And yeah, that's what I wanted to mention.
Yeah. So how did you get started in art?
Oh, how I got started. Okay, we'll go from the beginning then.
When did you start? Maybe.
When did I start? Okay, yeah. So I started 7 years ago, and I started because I wanted to do a manga, and I thought that I would be able to draw a manga on the quality of like One Piece within the next 2 years. I was thinking that when I practice 2 years, I'm able to draw manga. And what I did was, like everybody else, watched step-by-step drawings of from Macrame, and then you kind of slowly start to draw somewhat manga-ish, but you don't have any clue on what you're doing at all. And yeah, after that has been going on for a while, until I realized that doing step-by-step drawings, I was never able to have a decent result at the end. The lines are wonky because you're too focused on following the line that the YouTube video shows you. So you're not really, when you're drawing, you don't really think about the fundamentals in any way. You haven't even grasped what fundamentals are. And what you do is just, you think in lines way too much and the distance between the lines. So once I kind of, I don't know where I got it, but just browsing other different art tutorials, I stumbled upon, and that was a year later, I would assume, I think, and I found Cycra's videos, and then that's when I kind of got a clue on you need to learn to draw realistically before you go and try and attempt something like manga. So I was stuck in that. But before I continue on that journey, when and where did you start?
Yeah, practically was the same for me. I started 5 years ago, right after school. And I also started by watching Macrame videos and wanting to draw anime stuff and not really seeing any success. And then, yeah, I also found Cycra on YouTube as I looked for drawing tutorials. And then I quickly forgot about Macrame videos and learning to draw anime in a circle and stuff. And I started learning the fundamentals.
Yeah, what they do. And it's funny that I kind of got back to that type of videos because I watched pretty much all of the Cycra videos and a bunch of other tutorials that but I think that's at the very end. I kind of realized that you can get a decent manga type of art style when you do those things with the circles and guidelines, but it always feels stiff. But I just revisited recently, not Macrame videos, but a different guy called Mickey Manga. I watched his videos, and he kind of draws in the same technique that Macrame does, and but the results are kind of better, and he talks way more about the fundamentals. But no, I just it's kind of funny that the step-by-step stuff kind of works, but only for the guy doing the step-by-step thing, like for the artist that tries to teach, because I think when he does the step-by-step thing, he kind of knows, they probably know their own fundamental knowledge and stuff, so they don't really do it as in step-by-step. They're only having their own progress and they're taking it slower. That's why it kind of works for them, and I realized that you can make your own step-by-step thingy based on your knowledge, but don't try and follow other people's step-by-step guides, because step-by-step is usually not good. But I think when people that know how to draw try to explain how to draw, the only way they know how to explain it would be step-by-step.
Yeah, but I guess those videos are for a different audience, not for people who are serious about art, but just for the people who want to draw one picture.
Yeah, they
Like,
kind of
they just want to have one nice thing.
Yeah, they're kind of known as artist traps.
Artists, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, maybe they don't want to improve. Maybe they just want to draw one nice picture and then
yeah,
do
maybe
something
some
else.
people think that when they do this, follow the guide step by step, that they actually did the drawing.
Yeah.
Like, I never felt one reason why I moved on from those type of videos and this type of learning is that I kind of felt like I wasn't doing this on my own. I was just following the lines that someone else is telling me to do.
Yeah, and it was the same for me. Sorry, it was the same for me. But I also realized that I couldn't draw anything he wasn't showing. Like if he was drawing a face from the front view, I couldn't just turn it even a bit. I could only copy what he was doing and never do my own thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Do you still feel like that sometimes, even though you're you have a firm grasp of fundamentals? You still feel like you can't draw something that, like, you should be able to twist everything in your mind and then draw it, no matter what the type of thing that you're drawing is. But I still kind of feel like I never fully got the grasp of three-dimensional things in my brain, so I more likely feel that I am only relying on muscle memory by now. Like But I guess that's sometime further. Let's stay in the timeline though. So after those step-by-step things, we both discovered Psychra. Was there any other YouTube channels that you watched other than his? And for anybody not knowing who we're talking about, I guess everybody knows Psychra Nasser. But if not, he was like one of the very early how to draw gurus basically on YouTube.
Yeah, he was like the guy to watch if you wanted to learn anything about art.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also discovered Cynic's design through Psychra, as you can tell in my style, which is very much inspired by his work.
But there wasn't really much on YouTube 5 years ago, and that's
you're right. It kind of exploded lately. In the last 2-3 years, more and more people came.
Oh, I want to get into the thing that what do you like, the Ross Draws era type of how to draw videos and art guides. I think those are even worse than step by step, honestly, because they don't even show the steps. Like it's just
they're just entertainment more than learning.
But it's like packaged in a way as if he would be teaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be considered an artist trap also. I mean, if you know what you're doing, the videos could help, like inspire you to do something. But for total beginners, they're totally useless if they want to learn.
Yeah, absolutely useless. So we went from step by step to learning to use fundamental knowledge, and mostly based on videos. But did you also did you also read books or draw from photo references, stuff like that?
Yeah, I drew from photo references and from live sometimes, but most of the time I just spent watching videos and playing video games and drawing stuff from there.
Yeah,
the whole
granted though
aspect.
that we're not like we didn't we never really, both of us, I would say, we never really stuck with it for like a long period of time.
Yeah.
That I'm when I say I've been drawing for the past 7 years, it's mostly been on and off. Only the past 2 years it was pretty frequent, or past year, 1.5 years. But when we talk about improving and learning an art, I think it's really difficult to tell and to show that time is kind of not important. It's how frequent you work and study. Like, I don't know, like damage per second in video games. That it doesn't matter if you've done a shit ton of work over the last 10 years. What matters is how frequent you draw within a shorter time frame, because you tend to forget things.
Yeah, and also what you are drawing. Like, if you are just drawing step-by-step videos, you probably won't go that far.
Yeah. So after learning fundamentals, which I would say that both of us haven't really learned all the fundamentals. I think fundamentals are something that you carry with you all the time. It's the basics, but the basics in itself, they get more complicated. And I'm not sure if you can talk about fundamentals at that point anymore, but I feel like there's no point in your life where you absolutely understand perspective, everything about it. I've been researching and reading about perspective a bunch of times, and it's up to the point where I can't even watch tutorials anymore. I really have to force myself to try to refresh my memory. But most of the time, 90% of the things that people talk about or try to teach, I already know, but which I still don't have the feeling that I can execute the things that I know. There's a bunch of things that I don't know, but I know enough to be able to just work my way through this now. No, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Like, you have the basic toolkit, and you can at least fake it so it looks pretty good.
Yeah, but we're by no means like people that learn fundamentals in the way that we could call ourselves masters or anything.
No.
But we're on a decent level where maybe beginner artists would think that we are like the ultimate top. That, you know, I think our polished and finished art pieces could trick you to believe that we know everything.
Yeah, and I guess that's another point, like with this how to draw videos and maybe Marcrilli videos, to name a name, when I watched them like a few years ago, I really thought he was like a guy who knew everything about art, and you couldn't like be better than him.
With Marcrilli?
Yeah. I really enjoyed his work. I thought, yeah, that's manga.
Oh yeah,
that's
I
anime
respected him a shit ton, but I never really thought that he knows everything. I always thought of him as the American guy that does manga, but I knew that there is a bunch of I think you knew that too, but you didn't really think about it, that there is a bunch of Japanese people that are way, way, way better. But the issue is that you can't really find anything about it, so Marcrilli was the only option you had.
Yeah, but I didn't question his decisions.
Yeah. What do you think about him now, though? Like, what would your critique to Marcrilli be right now?
Yeah, that you can't really learn anything from his videos. But I mean, he isn't claiming that you can.
Yeah, he never says it. But like, he sort of claims that you can learn manga by buying his book, but that's a completely different story.
Yeah, but I think like he published his work. He has like 2 comic series, I don't know, and they're competent at least.
Yeah,
and he's bringing a lot of new people into art. Like, yeah. I mean, if I didn't watch his videos, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah. But luckily you haven't fallen in the trap and been watching Marcrilli for the past 5 years, so that you could say that too, but I think those people that never really grow out of his video style and learning experience, they wouldn't be able to be any good anyways. So he gives them an opportunity to do one good image, and that's it, so that they can feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
And we're not like hating on Mark Riley or anything.
You
if
know,
it
I
comes
respect
across
his
that
work,
way.
definitely.
Yeah. I bought his 2 books even.
Yeah, me
Not
too.
really. Did you buy them too?
Yeah, no, I didn't buy the How to Draw books, but his comics. Like
Oh
the
yeah,
Mickey
you
Falls.
mentioned that. Yeah. I bought the books because why didn't I buy the comics though? That's way more interesting. I think I pirated the comics actually.
Okay.
The first chapter. But that's kind of crazy that you can find this stuff online, pirating it.
Yeah.
But I never really. I read the first volume, and it was alright. And I don't know. It's not really super exciting or great. It's okay. Moving on from Mark Riley. Where were we?
What was your art progress?
Yeah, art progress, but at which point?
Yeah, you discovered Psychra and other YouTubers like me. I discovered Psychra and Cynics.
Yeah.
And what did you do then? Did you start studying from live or learning in editing?
Oh yes. So there was something happening that throughout the way of my learning experience, and that happens to a lot of people, is that they forget why they wanted to learn how to draw in the first place, and they tend to get stuck in the fundamental bits. So you start off thinking you don't need any fundamentals, and then you realize that you need them, and then you study them so much and so hard that you get stuck in realism, and you forget completely why you wanted to learn them in the first place, because they're so difficult, and you can spend a shit ton of time in learning all the muscles, learning all the bones. I did a 55 hours video lessons by Phoenix. What was the name? Something with Phoenix. Not Phoenix Wright, but something with Phoenix. I don't know if I can find it real quick, but sorry. I don't know. So a 55 hours course, figure drawing, and the artist went through all the muscles. I drew all the muscles, I drew all the bones, and how to draw the hip bones, stuff like that. All the complicated shit. And I never got really out of that. But some years later, I realized that I want to do manga style. So I kind of used everything I learned, broke it down to simpler things, and now I'm fairly okay at drawing from imagination. But again, I forgot a shit ton of things, and I need to relearn a bunch of things, like I'm trying to get a sense of the hip bones. But the basic stuff like eyes, feet, hands, nose, ears, the basic shape of the human form, I know that from imagination, from memory. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, if I think back, I mean, it's been a while now, it's 7 years, but still, it's a crazy thing to think about, that now I'm actually able to do what I set myself out to do. I thought I would be way faster, but even though like I didn't accomplish my goals nearly, not even now, I'm still kind of proud of what I'm able to do now. And I think the last step after that is that I realized in nowadays climate I would say, about the whole internet culture and how fast you need to upload things and stuff, how good you have to be. I think 5 years ago you would be able to get acknowledgement from the internet by being decent, but I think nowadays you have to be really good because the competition is so high, and all the people that started digital art 5 or 10 years ago, some of them are on a really high level, so you need to be really good as well. And because of that, and because I explained that I'm not there where I want to be yet, I learned how to, I wouldn't say cheat, but how to make it easier for myself.
Yeah,
like I don't remember all the Sorry, what?
Yeah, some of the shortcuts, like.
Yeah, shortcuts. Like, I don't fucking I don't know how entire hitbone looks like, or I can't make really good poses from imagination. I know the fundamentals in the anatomy parts. I know the fundamentals of perspective when drawing boxes or cylinders, but I'm not used to do to combine it yet. It's like super tough. You use all the anatomy knowledge, combine it with perspective, and then combine it with gravity even, or light. And how do you get something so lifelike that people are gravitated towards that and want to share it with everybody they know on internet forums? Like, that's some super high level stuff, and I'm not able to fabricate that in my mind. So I'm relying on photo reference, which doesn't mean that I don't know anything. And I think that's what people don't see as well, that you need to know that some things are almost impossible when you start out, so you maybe want to use a crutch.
Yeah, but also if you are already professional, I mean, most professionals still use photo reference, some use tracing or photo manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays everything changed, and I think, as we're talking about it, recently Ross Strauss did the whole photo bash, not photo bashing. He did photo bashing a while ago, but now what he does, he's overpainting a photograph.
Yeah.
And he's one of the most famous digital artists out there, and he got away with it. Like, nobody really, no one's bothered by that, and that made me think that, well, then you can use any cheat you want. It doesn't hurt your career. Like, use everything you have. Granted that Ross Strauss has a very good understanding of what he does, so when he cheats, I would let's call it cheating for now. He does it in a really good way. You can tell that if any other person would use his techniques, it still wouldn't come out as good. So you can cheat and still look shitty.
Yeah, and also he's already shown that he's capable of producing art without it.
So that's how people kind of justify it. I'm like, I have difficulties thinking about, like, it's kind of, you have to move on, but it's still sad that you can do such things and still get away with it now, because to me personally, I would still feel like I'm like a cheater essentially, but because he proved to people that he can do it without it, they just think that, oh, he's just saving time. But I believe that you can actually get worse. So this is the drawback on using a crutch, is that when you use crutches, you stop relying on your own capabilities. You stop relying on the things that you've learned, so they kind of become irrelevant, which leads to you forgetting what you've actually learned. And so that's why I'm trying to always, even if I use reference, always think, why is the reference working that way? And I'm trying to still build on my fundamentals and work on one day being able to fabricate an amazing composition with really good fundamental knowledge from my mind, from my experience, because I think that is still the best art. You can't really compete with that using crutches. If we look at Kim Jong-gi, for example.
Yeah.
So if you want to do semi-professional, if you want to get something down that doesn't look wrong, that looks believable, which looks like this person knows his fundamentals, you can use photo reference. You can even photo bash something, trace. A bunch of people have done it. The mangaka of No Game No Life has done it. Like, if the professionals are doing that and they've been practicing for years, then why wouldn't you do that? Use it. Again, the only drawback to using it is that you will never ever be as good as somebody like Kim Jong-gi. So you're really paying for it in a different way that you wouldn't think. I think the most people that do that are worried about getting exposed or something, but that's not the case nowadays. Chrome Prince did it, like a bunch of people, and people hate hearing about that because they want to believe that, oh, you can become amazing on your own. But if you tell people that it's okay to use crutches, it's the same as telling them to stop believing in their own capabilities and their own ability to become great fast, which to me it's not a reality. They can't do it, can't compete with you as a beginner. Can't compete with a beginner that uses hacks and cheats, let's call it that way. But when you're professional, that's why Ross Dross bothers me a bit. When you're professional, you shouldn't do it because it's in a way it's not professional. You're not using what this guy went to art center, so why can't he just draw the hand or paint the hand from imagination? He should not even that, he should be faster doing that instead of sitting down, taking out your phone, making a photograph or browsing on the internet for a photograph. A really skilled painter by then would already have a way better gesture down and would be able to paint it from there on out. Like, to me, it's not. And now he represents like huge skill. Yeah,
but I think it also comes with the pressure that being an online personality brings. Like, I mean, he has to put out like an image every week or every day, I don't know.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
that's
you
the
can't
thing.
have bad days if you're famous.
When you start drawing, you think about, oh, I just need to get good. Once you're somewhat decent, you realize, and you upload your stuff, you realize that it's not about being a good artist anymore, that much at least. It's about knowing how to market yourself. It's about doing the fan art, well, not necessarily, but just having a plan on marketing, because I've seen a bunch of people on DeviantArt which are really good and they have 40,000 views on DeviantArt, which is nothing. The basic user has 5,000 views. Those are maybe people that work in the industry. They don't use any marketing, but the images they upload are highly polished. They're super professional. Why don't people find them? And they're not playing. And we had that topic, I think, last week.
Yeah,
they're not playing the game of marketing yourself on social media. So people don't care about the process. They only care about the result now more than ever, I believe.
Yeah, but I think only artists care about the process, really.
Yeah, well, you have to if you want to improve, right?
Yeah, right. But
if you look up to,
Sorry, yeah.
Well, if you look up to somebody and you were thinking that, oh, this guy works, like he studied everything and now he knows what he's talking about, and you're watching that guy and learning from that guy, and then it turns out he's past that learning stuff, and now he just makes himself have an easier time by using photo reference or whatever, to a point where it's like just over painting an image. It's kind of discouraging. I mean, why would you then want to learn fundamentals if the guy that you're looking up to doesn't even use the knowledge that he's acquired over the years? And well, he uses it. He's still using it to some extent, but he's not really using it that much.
Yeah, but I guess if you're not really interested in becoming like a professional artist, the only thing that counts is seeing a nice finished image.
Yeah.
So like he's playing to his demographics. Like, I mean, sure, we want to get really good at art and do everything ourselves.
Yeah, that's why we don't watch him. Really.
Yeah.
So his audience is full of that. So, and what I was thinking is that the reason why he gets away with that is because that makes people believe that they can do it themselves. Now, learning isn't important. It's knowing the program. It's knowing color dodge. It's knowing how to photo bash. It's knowing how to trace, what brush to use. he makes people believe that, oh, I don't need to learn the fundamentals, and I think they don't talk about it, but I think they think that. That's why he doesn't get bashed by his community. Is because, oh no, great, well, I can use it too. If I allow him to use these things, then I can do it too. Because you can always refer to Ross and say, oh, he did it as well.
Yeah, but I think most people were doing it like for a long time.
Yeah, other
But
professions.
they just didn't tell anyone about it.
Yeah, they didn't tell anybody. They were working in the industry. They were not portraying themselves as online artists. They were, and not how to draw guides at all. They were just working under the pressure of the industry. So I think that's something completely else. Like the industry, if you work for a video game company, it's not about the progress at all. It's not about how good of an artist you are. It's just making the same game next year with different texture.
Yeah, but I think even if you're making like something totally new, the company that pays you don't care. Like they really don't care about how you get them their product.
Yeah.
They just want it done by the end of the day. And so naturally people just want to finish it as fast as they can and with little work.
So what would you tell if you were starting right now? Imagine, what would you tell yourself on how to learn to draw now?
I think I would do it the exact same way I did it right now. Like I learned anatomy, I did draw from reference a lot, and also I just had a lot of fun with drawing. Like don't try to finish it and don't try to be super good, just have lots of fun so you will continue.
Yeah.
I think I would do it just the same way.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned that. Fun is the strongest of them all.
Yeah.
Being passionate, and just by having fun, you're going to improve way more than by trying to improve.
Yeah.
But that's something that's hard to tell somebody. But speaking of you would be able to do it. But then again, you can't. Yeah, not everybody would work that way. But yeah, I agree. I think that you can't really focus on having fun, but drawing what's fun. That's the way to have fun when improving. That's the pit. Talking about the pit that people fall into about the fundamentals, where they fall into trying to learn realism too much. I would say learn the fundamentals just enough that you can draw what's most fun to you.
Yeah, and if you're a person that really likes to learn things, that's even better for you, because you can always learn something new.
Yeah, if you're a person that just enjoys improving. I think I'm a person that enjoys improving most. If I don't improve, even though I'm at a better level that I was 6 months ago, I'm still feeling bad about the things that I create, even in comparison to the past. So if I don't improve, I'm not having fun.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as practicing. I'm not having fun when I'm practicing. I'm fun once I see the result. Then I have a fun for a few weeks maybe, until I feel that I'm stagnating again, and then I'm practicing again. And what I didn't mention is comparing yourself to other artists. That's also a big thing, that you, especially in my situation with manga, it's not the most useful thing to do to learn by fundamentals. Obviously you need to have a certain degree on fundamentals, but I wouldn't recommend reading through complicated old school what was it, Scott Roberts? I don't really books. And no, Scott Roberts is not.
No, he's a concept art guy.
Fuck it. Then looking at manga artwork that I find professional or the highest level that my own eye allows me to see, copying that can help. Comparing with yourself with that can help. And that's what I've been doing recently. I've been doing like mood boards, montages of artists that I really like, and I'm trying to think, well, what is he doing that I'm not? And then I realize I'm doing stuff way different. I'm drawing the chins way too big with me, and what I'm thinking is, oh, I grew up on Dragon Ball Z. They did have like a huge chin and stuff. Even the girls, they have like strange proportions where the chin is fucking huge, and I was sticking to that because, well, that's where I get from. Or I have a big nose and stuff. Big nose compared to what the nose is nowadays.
Yeah.
The nose is not existent. But then I look at the images that I download on my computer, and I realize, wait, what I like isn't actually what I'm inspired by in the beginning. It's what I like now. So I'm trying to adjust to that. I'm afraid to not. I don't want to go fully there. I don't know. I still want something in my work that has its roots, watching Golden Boy and stuff like that. I kind of want to keep that, but it's contradicting what I like now. So for now, and to be able to improve, for now I'll just follow what I myself enjoy in other pieces, and not what I think my own style should be.